Hey everyone, so this is the lesson for March 30th. The lesson is called Convert Measurement Units Practice Problems. In our note packet, this is lesson 21, pages 235 through 236. You're going to watch this video, fill out the assignment on Classroom, then work on iReady and fill out the iReady survey. This is what your assignment is going to look like on Google Classroom. It is marked 330, Convert Measurement Units Practice Problems. So number 1 reads as, Jillian has a rope that is 50 inches long. Write the length of her rope in feet and inches. The first thing I do in this problem is I circled the key number and I underlined the question. This is the first 2 points in our cube strategy. It's all I'm going to use for these because these are kind of simpler word problems for math, so I don't really need the other steps. I always just start with the circling the key number and underlining the question. So now that I have that done, I look at the key number that I circled. So in this one I circled 50 inches. This is my starting point in the problem, so I would write 50 inches down. Now I have to think, am I converting from a smaller measurement unit to a larger measurement unit, or a larger unit to a smaller unit? So for this, I know we're starting with that 50 inches. That's what we put down here. Inches to feet means that we're going to be going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, and this means we're going to divide. So now I have 50 inches divided by 12 inches per foot. So that next step is to figure out what you're dividing by. For this one, I knew it was 12 because there was 12 inches in 1 foot, and we're trying to figure out how many feet are in 50 inches. So to solve this equation, you take 50 and you divide it by 12. And then if you do this on a calculator, you're going to get 4.1666666, repeating all the way until your calculator's filled up. So what you do with that is you're going to take that number, that 4.16, and you're going to round it to the tenths place. So you're going to round that decimal to the tenths place, which means you're going to round it so that you have 4.2. In this problem, 4.2, it's the same thing as saying 4 remainder 2, which means that you have 4 feet and 2 inches. You can double check this answer by multiplying. So you can take the 4 feet, because that was what we got when we put 50 divided by 12 in the calculator. The main number we got was 4. So you can take 4 feet and you're multiplying that by 12 inches per foot. So you know that in those 4 feet you have 48 inches. In the beginning, our key number we circled was 50 inches because that was the length of the rope. So then you would take 50 inches minus 48 inches, gives you 2 inches left over. So your answer for this problem is 4 feet and 2 inches. You can pause the video now to record your answer. Okay, so for the second part of number 1, it is asking, in this last problem, when you converted inches into feet and inches, so when you took that 50 inches and you converted it to 4 feet and 2 inches, were you converting to a smaller or larger unit of measurement? So if we started with the 50 inches and we converted into 4 feet and 2 inches, were we converting the original 50 into a larger or smaller unit of measurement? So you can see on here, one of the visuals you can kind of use is like there are 12 inches in a foot. So you can see that when you're starting with the inches, you have more units and then you're converting into 1 unit. So you're converting to a larger unit. We can apply that in the last one. We started with 50 inches. We converted that into only 4 feet and 2 inches. So we were converting to a larger measurement unit. So your answer for this one should be larger. You can pause the video now to record this answer. And then the last part of question number 1, this is just all having you kind of explain what you did in that first problem, says when you convert from a smaller unit of measurement to a larger unit of measurement, what operation do you use? So when we had that 50 inches, what did we do? What operation did we use to get that into the 4 feet and 2 inches? The only 2 options you have is multiplication and division. And you can look back on how you solved the first problem, or you can use this visual again. So if there are 12 inches on the bottom and they are the same length as 1 foot, if you're starting with 12 units and you're going into 1 unit, your number of units is decreasing. And with division, the units you have decrease. They're not going to go up in number, they're going to go down. So your answer for this one is division. You can pause the video now to record this answer. Alright, so now for number 2, it says that 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. How many grams are in 3.5 kilograms? So I always start these problems by circling the key number and underlining the question. These are the first 2 steps in our cube strategy, and it really kind of helps you see what is the important information in these problems. So for this one, I circled 3.5 and I circled 1,000 grams because that's going to tell me how many grams are in 1 kilogram. And then I underlined how many grams are in 3.5 kilograms because that's what we need to figure out in this problem. So now that I have this done, I start with the key number from the question part of the problem. So from what I underlined, the only number that was in there that I underlined was 3.5. So I take that 3.5 kilograms, and then I have to think, okay, if we're starting with the kilograms, what are we converting to? We're converting to grams. So when I look at that, I can see that we are converting from a larger unit to a smaller unit, so we're going to be multiplying. Our number of units is going to go up. So then we have to figure out what we are multiplying or dividing by. So in this problem, there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, so we're going to be multiplying by 1,000. So we take the 3.5 kilograms multiplied by 1,000 grams per kilogram, and then that's going to get us our final equation, 3.5 times 1,000, and our answer for this one is 3,500 grams. So you can pause the video now and record this answer. Alright, so now for the next part of number 2, it says, in that previous problem, the same one we just solved, Rodney chose D, 35,000 grams. What did he multiply by to get to that number? So he started with the 3.5 kilograms just like we did. What did he multiply to get to 35,000 grams? So to figure this one out, I'm going to use the power of 10 rule for multiplying. So I'm just going to see how many times I'd have to move the decimal place to get to 35,000. So this would get me to 35, 350, 3,500, and so on. So then let's see how many times I moved it if I fill these in with zeros. I now have the 35,000. So you can see I moved the decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that means that they multiplied by 10,000. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros here, which would make sense because then he moved it 4 times here. So Rodney, when he got his answer, he multiplied by 10,000. So you can pause the video now and record this answer. So we just figured out that Rodney multiplied by 10,000, which is incorrect. What should he have multiplied 3.5 by to get the correct answer? If we look back up on top, we see that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So he should have multiplied by 1,000 and not 10,000. So your answer for this one is 1,000. You can pause the video now and record this answer. Alright, so now we have a table we're filling out. We're comparing gallons and pints. So there is 8 pints in 1 gallon. The first one says how many gallons are equivalent to 24 pints. If we start on the bottom, we're going from pints to gallons. Pints to gallons is smaller to larger, so we're going to divide by 8. And we divide by 8 because there's 8 pints in 1 gallon. So for this one, we have 24 pints divided by 8 pints per gallon. 24 divided by 8 will give you your answer. So you can pause the video now and record this answer on your assignment sheet. All right, now for the next one, how many pints are equivalent to 4 gallons? So this time we are going from, we know the gallons, we're going to pints. Gallons to pints is larger to smaller, so we're going to be multiplying by 8. 4 gallons times 8 pints per gallon will give us our answer. So to find the answer, you take 4 and you times it by 8. 4 times 8 will give you your answer. You can pause the video now to record this. Alright, so then the last one on the table, we know that there's 40 pints. How many gallons are equivalent to 40 pints? We take the 40 pints, we divide by 8 because we're going to a larger unit of measurement. 40 divided by 8 will give you your answer. You can pause the video now to solve this and record it. Okay, so now we have number 4. 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 milliliters. How many liters are in 2,500 milliliters? So we're going to start by circling and underlining the question. So I'm going to underline how many liters are in 2,500 milliliters because that is the key. That is what we're being asked to do. And then I'm going to circle 1,000 milliliters and I'm going to circle 2,500 milliliters because those are the two numbers we're going to need. So then I start with the key number from the question part. I start with the 2,500 milliliters. I need to know, am I converting from smaller to larger? So I know I'm starting with the milliliters. Milliliters to liters is smaller to larger, so I'm going to be dividing. So then I have to figure out what I'm dividing by. I see that there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter, so I'm going to take 2,500 and divide it by 1,000. And that's the equation that will give you your answer. So you're going to take 2,500 and you're going to divide by 1,000. And that will give you your number of liters. And actually, while you guys pause the video to record that, I'm going to fix my problem on here a little bit. I got a little happy, added an extra 0. But you're going to take 2,500 and divide by 1,000 to get your answer. You can pause the video now and record this. Alright, so now for number 5, it says there are 2 cups in 1 pint. How many cups are in 5 pints? I'm going to underline the question, how many cups are in 5 pints? And I am going to circle my key number. I'm going to circle 5, and I'll circle 2. Okay, so now looking at the problem, I start with the key number from the question part, so I'm starting with 5. 5 pints. Now I need to think, am I converting from a smaller unit of measurement to a larger, or a larger unit to a smaller? For this one, I know that pints to cups is larger to smaller, so we're going to be multiplying. To find out what we're multiplying by, I look and I see that there are 2 cups in 1 pint. So I'm going to take my 5 pints times 2 cups per pint. So then you're going to solve the equation to get your answer. Take 5 times 2, and that will give you your answer. You can pause the video now and record this. Okay, now we're on number 6. Number 6 is, what operation would you use to convert cups to gallons? And just a reminder, there are 16 cups in 1 gallon. So I created a little visual for this problem. I have 16 cups, and that is equal to 1 gallon. So I have a picture of 16 cups next to a picture of 1 gallon. So this kind of shows that if we're starting with that cups, we're starting with 16, and we're going down to 1 gallon, I know that we're going to be dividing because our number of units overall is getting smaller. So your answer for the first part of problem 6 is division. You can pause the video now to record this answer. Alright, so then the next part of number 6 is just kind of explaining why you chose that operation. So it says, explain what operation you used to convert from cups to gallons and why you used that. So looking at this, we can already cross off the first 2 because we did not multiply. We knew we were going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, so we divided. So now we have just 2 options remaining. The first one says divide because it takes more of the larger units to equal the same amount of the smaller units. And the second one says we divided because it takes less of the larger unit to equal the same amount of the smaller unit. So for this one, I would actually just box in the difference. So the only difference is one is saying it takes more of the larger unit, and one is saying that it's going to take less. So when I look at this, I can even use that picture. There's the 16 cups is equal to 1 gallon. So I know it's actually going to take less of the larger units to equal the smaller units. So my answer for this one is going to be that last one. So divide because it takes less of the larger units. You can pause the video now to record this answer. Alright, now on this form there's an optional final question that you can add. Just leaving any comments, questions, or concerns about what we've learned, if there's anything confusing, or if you're ready to move on. This is optional and it's not graded. And other than that, we are done for today. So this is the end of the lesson. You should be filling out the assignment on Google Classroom, then working on iReady and filling out the iReady survey. Thanks, everyone.